let's ask someone who has also seen the wrath of his colleagues. Honorable Idahosa, who at some point has also been suspended. But take us through how this could have happened in the Senate and how these people could have gained entrance without possible security clearance. Before that, let me quickly show Nigerians what the security architecture looks like in the Senate. If a lot of people who are familiar with Abuja, this is the three-arm zone we are trying to describe to you in this illustration. Three-arm zone road, which leads you to the very first gate, and through this first gate you go through the second gate, and so after this gate, which usually staff and lawmakers are allowed, it takes you through this what looks like a bowl, a stadium, a mini bowl, and it's a very large one. It's as large as some stadium that you will find in the country. And this takes you through perhaps to the entrance of the National Assembly, which has a security check. So it's a bit of a trouble to get through up to this point. Honorable Idahosa, what do you think happened?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I think there was complicity. There's no question about the fact that such a number of strangers gained such easy access to the Senate. And I'm sure that there's more to that than meet the eyes. But significantly, let me mention the fact that the National Assembly does not rely most often than not on the Legislative Powers and Privileges Act in suspending its members. I think they deal more with the rules of the House, which is made pursuant to Section 60 of the Constitution, which enables them to regulate their own conduct. And part of what they have done is to insert provisions for these houses to suspend their members. Particularly, the Senate has a provision which says that nothing in the rules will prevent the Senate from proceeding against one of their own with disciplinary matters, so long as there's a resolution backing that. So it's a difficult situation to fight, and a suspended member ideally should not be within the precincts of the National Assembly. His office is immediately sealed, and if he's available, his car is impounded. So that Omoagege was there was a contravention. And in any case, even if you were suspended and you are in court, there is no legal advice that can entitle you to come there, because that will be self-help. The courts frown at self-help. There is no court that will say, go there and force yourself in. The worst that you can do is to serve the Senate leadership with the appropriate forms, Form 48, Form 49, and thereafter move them to court to show cause why they should not be dealt with. But don't forget, sir, that there is a serious contest for hierarchy between the National Assembly, the legislature on the one hand, and the judiciary on the other hand. This has been going on for years, so it's most likely going to be a reason to attract serious sanctions should you, as a lawmaker, support the undermining of the legislature, which is considered by most legislators as number one in the hierarchy of government.
Mr. Nya-Etok.
Yes.
2019 is approaching.
Yes.
What is the significance, or what exactly do you think is the implication of all this?
I think we should look at our elected officers and try to see what sort of mindsets they have. There are certain fundamentals in a country with regards to development that can never be accepted for under any guise or reason. One of them is to be lawless. You can't accept it for any reason in the world. Whether the Senate was right, whether the Senate was wrong, that's not the first point. The first point is that it should never be accepted that people will get into the National Assembly and start to fight from outside to the extent of wanting to take the mess and run away.
What does this mean for 2019?
What it means is that every Nigerian ought to sit down and ask himself certain fundamental questions. Who is the sort of person I should send to the National Assembly? Who is the sort of person I should have as a governor? Who is the sort of person I should have as a president? We must know that we will take responsibility for whosoever. I listened to some two young men in this place, and I listened to the questions. We're not asking, are you a square peg in a square hole? Are you a round peg in a square hole? But we're asking, do you have capacity? Do you have the financial muscles? Are they supposed to have the financial muscles? Is the man who is supposed to serve you supposed to pay you to serve you? Are we thinking? Are we knowing that if we listen to Mr. Mohalu today and we listen to Sowore and we ask ourselves, does that young man have what it takes? And we take up the responsibility of saying, you will swim and sing with my 10 naira. I don't care about structures, about systems, because when push comes to shove, we deal with ourselves as individuals.
Mr. Ogunye, as it stands right now, it is a tough battle. National Assembly, the judiciary. Is there any battle for supremacy? Just quickly, the implication of what has happened.
Is what I call legislative arrogance. Legislative arrogance. How can you be contesting space with the judiciary that has the awesome power, the sole power of judicial review, of everything you do, of what the two arms of government do? The executive.
Are you saying
action,
this because you're a lawyer?
And even legislative. No. It is the only body that can look at a law and use the blue pencil rule and say that this section is dead, this section is infringing the provision of the Constitution, this section is... That's the only body that has that awesome power. And so for you, as a legislature, to even attempt to constrain the power or the right of any of your member to go to court, thereby violating the provision of the Constitution, Section 6 and other sections, enabling every Nigerian to access the court. Once there is a dispute, you elevate that to an act of assault on the legislature and say that because you dare go to court, thou shalt be suspended. Where do they derive these powers? They are talking about parliamentary supremacy. Where do they derive it?
But the lawmakers sign up by themselves to some of these rules that guides their operations.
Those rules cannot trump the provisions of the Constitution now. What rules? Whether they are made under Section 60 or whatever, as former legislature West has just said in Abuja. So that you have a rule that says thou shalt not go to court. Is it a club? Is it an association or a union, a trade union that says that you must exhaust all internal remedies before you go to court? Right. These are legislators who use the instrumentality of the rule of law, and the judiciary. Okay. When they are shortchanged, filing petition and petition to get into that house, they get there and they say, member, don't go to court.
Yeah, let's answer.
That is not rule of law.
Let's allow Mr. Wesley. Let's allow Mr. Wesley also to close the show for us tonight. So, what are your views on this? A stalemate, or do you see any end in sight to all of this?
Well, I think that the way to deal with this is to understand that there is some criminality involved in this matter. My take is that for those hoodlums who were captured on camera, they have committed crimes of felony, and they need to take them up under the appropriate laws. Now, once that is done, I guess that will send a clear signal to everybody that democracy must be protected and lawlessness must be discouraged.
Honorable Wesley Idahosa, former member of the House of Representatives, thank you for your time tonight. Mr. Jiti Ogunye, a friend of the House, a lawyer, thank you for your time on the program. And Mr. Ezekiel Nya-Etok is a national coordinator of Nigeria Force Project. Gentlemen, I most sincerely thank you for your time on the program tonight. Yes, it's always a pleasure having you.
I have the privilege.
And so that's our show for today, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'm Shion Kimbale. See you tomorrow at 7 p.m.